Hey Internet, it's RJ. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning into the show today. And on today's show, I'm going to be answering your questions. That's right. About a day ago, I put up the lovely Riddler icon here over in the YouTube community section and said, hey, ask me your burning questions, and you guys did not disappoint. Definitely got some good questions to get through. So format for today, if you don't mind, I'm just going to read the questions off of my phone here, and I'll put it up on screen to give that person a shout out. But we're just going to go through the questions, do a little Q&A, and of course, if you like this format, let me know down below if you want to see more of it, and we can definitely work this into the rotation. So without further ado, I'll ask it in typical Jeopardy format. What is never missing a show? The answer, pressing the subscribe button down below. Let's go ahead and get to work. Okay, so starting out, first question for Mr. Neto Ramos. So thank you, sir, for writing in. I have 8 inquiries. I'm new to credit. What can I do to erase them? My last inquiry was 2 months ago. Well, sir, unfortunately, you can't actually erase them yourself. So the simple answer here is that credit inquiries will stay on your credit report for 2 years, and then they just naturally fall off. All right, so moving on. Next question for Mr. K. Roddy. Have you ever not gotten a bank bonus you qualified for? How did you handle it, and how did it turn out? What Mr. Roddy's talking about is, hey, banks are supposed to pay out when you meet certain qualifications. Have one of them ever not paid out? Well, Roddy, so far I can say I've actually been pretty lucky, and all the banks that are supposed to pay me have paid me. Now, here's some things you can do to help protect yourself from that. So first of all, again, I'll put up my spreadsheet here, but documentation and tracking and organization are key. So you're going to want to read through the terms and conditions and clearly pull out all the actions you need to take and the dates you need to complete them by. Now, one other thing you're also going to want to do is PDF or screenshot the offer that you're responding to. I like to PDF it so I can save it digitally, and a PDF is going to put a timestamp on the bottom of the document there. So just in case you need to show it to the bank, you can do so. Oh, and here we go. We just talked about him, and here he is. Bank account bonus interest. How would you make Bank of America great again? So I think Bank of America is pretty good. I think they just had to clean up their preferred rewards tier. I think, the cash rewards is at 5 1/4 at Platinum Honors, but unfortunately Platinum Honors and that 5 1/4 isn't groundbreaking like it used to be. If you look at the credit card landscape, there's a lot of cards that give you 5x back. We just had a video on the channel about how to earn 5x back on all the things. So I think they have to adjust that 5 1/4 up a little bit higher, almost like a cost of living wage or an inflation wage. Move that up and make sure Platinum Honors still means something. Okay, so moving on to the next question here. Mr. Earl Thomas, how long does it take a new credit card to show up on your credit report? The inquiry showed up real fast. However, my credit limit increased due to my new CSP hasn't hit yet. I checked Credit Karma and Experian. So, Mr. Thomas, first of all, you probably got that 100K offer for the CSP, so congrats to you, sir. That is huge. So you're right. You will notice, especially if you have a credit monitoring enabled through Chase or Amex or Credit Karma or Mint, whoever, that you'll get a notification email like as soon as you submit that application to the card issuer. However, when does it show up on your credit report? Generally about 1 to 2 months later. There's some lag time in there for sure, but yeah, about 1 to 2 months is when you can expect it to show up. Again, each card issue is a little bit differently, but the lag is normal. All right, and so moving on to the next question, Mr. NC Kyle 1980, good friend of the show here. He's got a two-parter here. So he's saying part number 1, are you the odd man out in your family, or were you born into a family of credit card max earners? He is the odd man out in his family and no one else cares. Well, Kyle, to the first part of your question, I can definitely relate to that. Even expanding it past the family, just no one really cares about this in general. So we'll talk about the family really quick. So I'm 30, parents are probably mid-60s. They definitely passed on the needs to know about credit, right? They got me my first credit card, that whole thing, teach you how to use it responsibly, but that was pretty much it. My dad is very much a cash and carry person. Actually, he's a cash and carry exact change person. So if you're at the grocery store and you're checking out, it's like $52.81, he's gonna count on exact change, and if he needs a penny, he's gonna look at you and be like, you got a penny? He's like, I don't even have $1, dude. What are you talking about having a penny? Then we're trying to look around the floor and find old man a penny. But so younger brother here is probably 27, I think, at the time of this. I should probably know that. But he's more so into cards. He is an Amex Platinum, and he's a Sapphire Reserve card. He's definitely more into them because of the prestige and the perception of how they look. He's told me multiple times, apparently, you pull out a Platinum card at the bar, then it apparently goes over well with the ladies. I don't know that. I can't confirm it. To the 4 ladies who watch this show, maybe you can let us know in the comments down below if that works. But definitely the odd man out there. Second part of your question, what do you feel has been your proudest moment in your journey? Like what brought you the most joy, happiness, etc.? That's an interesting question. So I think, Kyle, I'm going to assume let's just keep in the YouTube space, probably the most relatable. Originally I probably would have said hitting that 1,000 threshold subscribers. YouTube, if you're unfamiliar, there's 2 landmarks or milestones that count when you first start. It's 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. Originally, I gave myself like a 3-month runway. I was like, we'll hit this no problem. The hours would be the hard part. Well, I actually hit the hours very early on, but the subscribers was a bit much. But I think beyond that, it's more so if you take a look back and like what you've done in 18 months, and aside from just teaching yourself how to video edit and use a camera and all this stuff, it's more so that we can do videos like this where I'm reading questions, and I actually know a decent amount about Kyle because we talk in the comments. So we've actually come together and built up a community. And that goes back to your first question about no one cares. The reason YouTube works is because you get to create these niche communities, so to speak, where you can talk about things that no one else cares about, that you're not going to meet someone who wants to really talk about credit cards and points and bank bonuses, any of that. So I would say overall, if you don't talk the last 18 months, is in the fact that in that time frame, a lot of us, it wasn't a good run for a lot of people. I didn't have as bad of a run, but nearly as bad of a run as a lot of people did during lockdown, but you put that time to good use and you build something, and we're still continuing to build something. So that's a long answer, but I think that's probably what I'm most proud of here for the channel, building that niche community, and it's growing so we can do videos like this. So definitely thank you for writing in, sir. All right, and so next question we have here is from Mojo. What's your recommendation on suggestions on credit utilization, piece of the pie to squeeze every point out of that category? He's talking about, hey, is it 1 to 3%, 4 to 9%, or even an explanation on credit card gardening and when and why people do it and its positive effects on credit. All right, so 2 parts there. So first of all, credit utilization. Well, I'll put up the FICO wheel again. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but utilization is a big piece of it. Now, overall, I think you want to keep that utilization as low as you possibly can. And by that, you're paying off your cards in full every single month. I don't know where the rumor started that it helps your credit to carry a balance. That is not true. You definitely want to pay in full every single time, and as a result, that is going to keep your credit utilization super low. Now, on the other hand here, can you explain gardening? Yes, I can. So in the world of credit cards, when you hear the term gardening, what we're really talking about is kind of taking a pause on applying for new credit cards. In this world, best example is someone who's trying to get underneath Chase 524. Chase is 524, 5 new accounts within 24 months of any issuer, you were banned from any new Chase cards. So to get under that, you would garden. You would take your time off, no new applications, and that would get you set to, eventually those new inquiries, as we talked about earlier, will start to fall off your credit report, and then you can go ahead and get your Chase cards. Now, as far as what effect does this have on your credit? Well, that's pretty much it. If you have a ton of inquiries, like I've gone through phases where I have a lot of inquiries, and it's still a low factor in your FICO score, 10%, I think, but you build up a lot of them. 10% a lot of times can add up. So if you just want to chill, let them fall off. So my biggest guarding periods are right around when I'm going to get a home loan, for example, get a mortgage, something like that. Go through a guarding period, chill on everything else, let those inquiries fall off, just get your credit in the best possible position it can be in to apply for that mortgage. So again, that's what we mean by gardening, and it can be a positive effect on your credit overall. Okay, so moving on, this is actually our last question we have of the day here, and Matt Yaz asks, I have 8 credit cards with combined credit limit of $65,000 with no debt. I pay off my credit card balance in full every month. I plan to buy a house maybe next year. Would it be a problem financing a home with such high credit line available? So I can tell you without a doubt, absolutely not. Having $65,000 in revolving lines of credit will not affect your mortgage in any way. Mortgage banker is going to be interested in 2 different things. They want to know how much you make and how much you owe, right? So they do that by a few different ways. They verify your income. So they're going to ask you for probably 2 years worth of W-2s. They're going to probably ask you for 2 pay stubs, bank statements, and then perhaps any investment accounts you have. It just depends on how much capital you need to make the down payment on the house. Is going to vary on how much documentation you have to provide. On the other hand, they care about your liabilities. What do you owe people? So for that, they're going to get it from your credit report. Usually banks will do what they call a tri-merge, where they hit all 3 credit bureaus, because all 3 credit bureaus could have different information So a lot of times, just to be safe, since we're talking about such a high dollar amount when it comes to a house, they'll hit all three bureaus, do a tri-merge, and that's what they're going to do. At a high level, that's what they want. So the fact that you have access to $65,000 is not going to hurt you in any way at all. So keep doing what you're doing, pay that off, have no debt, and you should be just fine. Actually, okay, I lied. There's one more. Mr. Silk Black, will close on you. You're asking 3 different questions here. So first of all, do you think Diners International card will come back to the U.S.? No, not really. I don't see that. They don't really seem to have much of an interest anymore in the U.S. market. I think they even pulled out their small business cards, pulled them out of the U.S. market very recently as well. I think back in March, maybe. So for whatever reason, I don't think they're going to come back, which is weird because, again, they were like the first credit card way back in the day that got this all started. So it'd be nice to see them come back just for nostalgia's sake, but I think they really have to revamp the card to get competitive. You know, the times in the card market have really changed since they pulled out years ago. So no, unfortunately, I don't think they will. Now, your second question, do you think Discover will start to innovate the lineup as it's quite stale? Good question. I do agree with you. Discover cards are quite stale. And funny enough, Discover's like one of the only card issuers who hasn't done anything over these last few quarters where we've seen this epic run of credit cards. Even Capital One has gotten in on the mix, talking about lounges and high offers with the Venture card, things like that. But no, unfortunately, again, I don't really see Discover doing anything. Even their credit card rules only allow you to have, I think, 2 of their credit cards, and most of those you want to be both Discover cash cards. So, you know, there's a lot that they could do. I think eventually they will start to lose market share and lose customers. I mean, even if Capital One, again, is stepping up. So I think they need to do something, but they just don't really seem interested to do anything right now. They haven't done anything, no new cards. Even Bank of America and Citibank, who don't often do new cards, have gotten in the mix as well, and Discover's just sat on the sidelines. So no, I don't think they will, sadly enough. Last question here, are you invested in crypto? And if so, which coins? If not, why? Well, Mr. Silk Black, I am not invested in any crypto. Now, the reason why is really, I'll be honest, I'll probably get tossed in the comments for this. I just don't understand it enough. I get Bitcoin. I believe in Bitcoin. I think it's real. But all the other different coins out there, I'm not really sure why there's so many different variations of coins. I don't know what the value is tied to, why some go up and some go down. You know, so really, I just haven't sat down and put the time in to understand how crypto works. I do think it is an interesting play, and I can definitely see the argument for having it as a part, maybe a small portion of a portfolio. But for the most part, for the last 2 to 3 years, I've been really real estate focused. I had some positions in Robinhood and regular stocks in, I think, 2018, cashed out to buy my first house, turned around and bought another one very quickly after that, about a year after that. So now most of my money I have spread out in bank account bonuses that we talked about earlier. And then, of course, once I, maybe even the housing market, comes back down to reality, hopefully early Q1 of next year, I'll probably try to go for property number 3. So really the answer is I just haven't put in the time to understand crypto. So anyways, maybe you can start a crypto channel. I can watch you and you can educate me on that and which coins I should be taking a look at. Let me know down below. Okay, guys, so there we have it. Those were all of your questions that you submitted, asked, and answered. I hope I helped out a lot. And if you need any more additional detail or follow-ups, again, feel free to hit me up down below and we can talk it over there. If you like the Q&A type segment, then go ahead and let me know that as well, because we can definitely incorporate maybe one a month or something into the rotation. But anyways, if you like this one, drop me a thumbs up down below. If you found it particularly interesting or helpful, then consider subscribing to the channel. Again, posting content just like this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Of course, with a recap episode on Sunday, that is all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. I won't ask you a question this time because I just got done asking you questions, so I'll just say thanks for watching, and I will see you very soon in the next one.